For these two, it's them against the world. In the time that they've been together, they have shown me nothing is impossible when it comes to these two. Not even death can separate them. I still remember the time when Christian told me when it happened. I'm in Disneyland, I'm watching fireworks. All of a sudden, my phone goes off, and it's like, Abby's in the hospital. She had a cardiac arrest. At that moment, my heart dropped, knowing my best friend, who's on the other side of the country, was currently in the hospital, and I was not there for her. But it helped knowing that Christian was. He did not leave her side one time.
This love is the best thing I have found. Like a garden bursting through the ground. Every hope brought to life. Every day I realize this love is the best thing I have found. You're the best thing I have found.
Christian and Abby, I want to ask you guys to look into each other's eyes, all right? Christian, I want you to put your hand on top of Abby's. Now, Abby, tell Christian you love him. Now, Christian, tell you love her. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first and last time you'll see Christian have the upper hand and the last word. I love you, brother.
Abby, I've known you for a long time, and we've always been friends. And I can't think of anyone else better for making Christian the happiest man in the world. I am so happy for you. Christian, my brother, going through all the years of hanging out and just being friends, this is the happiest I have ever seen you. I mean, really, man, you deserve it. You guys are made for each other, and I'm glad you guys found each other. The tale on how I came to be a part of Christian's life is a long and inspiring journey through 3.5 weeks of high school biology class. Because at the end of those 3.5 weeks, I found myself at the beginning of a 4.5-year-long stay at the Davin Hotel.
Like you always wanted.
Danelle and I got to see all the little nuances that make up Christian's personality, and I'll tell you what a personality that is. You could sit down and you could list off tens, if not hundreds, of different characteristics and attributes that make up what it means to be a good person. And I could stand up here and assure you that on Christian's worst days, he's all of them still. Which is why it came as such an awesome surprise to me that from the time I knew them to be together, having Abby at Christian's side only amplified the qualities about him that I and others admire. His dedication, his passion, his integrity. I could go on, but these are just a few to be named among the characteristics and attributes that make up and add depth and credibility to his sparkling character. Christian and Abby, you two complement each other. You add to each other's strengths, and you bring aid to each other's weaknesses. Your smiles are always brighter, and your spirits are always higher in each other's presence. And it is evident every day that you two have an admiration, a love, a security, and a respect for each other that is only found in a pairing that is truly happy.
I, Christian,
I, Abby.
take you, Abby,
Take you, Christian.
to be my wedded wife.
To be my wedded husband.
Christian and Abby, marriage can and should be an art form. If you've seen a little child's artist's drawing, it can be a little sloppy. As we begin our marriage journey, sometimes we look like a kid coloring outside of the lines. But the older we get, And the more we dedicate our lives to Christ, the better we become. The stronger your marriage becomes. The stronger that your love becomes. Christ died on the cross. He took a brutal death for you and for me, for our sins. And we are to love our wives so deeply, Christian, that we would be willing to lay it all down on the line. And there's also a call to submission, to respect your husband. And it becomes very easy to do that when you know that he is following Christ's lead, that he is surrendering to what Christ has for him, and that you are mutually submitted to Christ.
So beautiful. Stop it.
You stop it.
You and me have been through so much. And it's hard to count the times, because you have been there in my happiest times, and you've been there for my darkest times. And the constant thing was you were there. Out of my whole life, you were the one constant in my life.
Christian, I could not be happier to stand up here in front of everybody and tell them and tell you that I could not be happier of the man that I had the privilege to grow up with. And I could not be more excited for the life that you and your wife are building together. I'd like everybody to stand and join me in wishing Mr. and Mrs. Davin all the health, wealth, and happiness in the entire world. I couldn't think of anybody who deserves it better. To the bride and groom.
To have and to hold,
From this day forward,
for better or for worse,
for richer or for poor,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
until death do us part again.
until death do us part again.
And because of the vows that you have made in the presence of the Lord and before these witnesses, it is my joy and honor to pronounce you man and wife. You may now kiss your bride, Christian. It is now with great pleasure and honor I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Christian John Davin.